Well, Zombie Apocalypse Diaries, 5 September 2014. This episode is basically brainstorming ideas for you to do something to change the world, to change your country, to change your state, whatever, to fix the problem. See, what's really going on is that, zombies, they all have the infrastructure by which they control us. And that infrastructure includes the monetary system, the economy, corporations, the legal system, the political system, the fact that land is owned, capitalism, it just everything. Institutional is zombies. So how can you fight this? How can you be free? How can you end their reign? Well, simple. The only reason they have power over us is because we let them. Because we subscribe to their conveniences. I discussed in a previous entry, if I could remember what I'm talking about. I discussed. Oh shit! God damn, I hate this. Brain damage sucks. Let's see. I'm going to review. Okay, so continuing. So I discussed in a previous entry about the fact that, well, actually, I never posted that. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I have discussed previously, possibly here, maybe not, the fact that the monetary system only works because we let it, because we give it value. So if their systems only work if we contribute to them, if they only have power because we let them, then all we have to do is stop letting them have power. And the way they have power is by selling us convenience. And we buy it, lock, stock, and barrel. No problems. We just pick it all up, and whatever they sell us, we'll buy it. So, here's what you do. First thing you do, take your money out of the bank. See, fractional reserve banking says that every $1,000 you put in the bank can then turn around and loan to the rich $10,000. What? No, wait a minute. So if I put $1,000 in the bank, they can loan out $10,000 based on my putting $1,000 in the bank? How does this work? Well, it's called fractional reserve banking. It's the creation of money when you put money into savings or checking. So when your check's deposited, 10 times the amount of your check goes to the rich. So, if you want to take money away from the rich, guess what? Take your money out of the bank. I told you. Just had a bug fly in my eye. There it is. See? Holy crap. Anyway, so if you take your money out of the bank, if everyone takes their money out of the bank, there's no more money to loan. And besides that, the banks can't soak you for this fee, that's bullshit, that bullshit. If you do want to put your money somewhere, put it in a credit union. Okay, if you're gonna use a bank, use a credit union. But the ideal situation is to not use a bank. Use cash. Okay, so that will end the fractional reserve monetary system and destroy the wealthy in one front. A second way you can do something. This is very simple and extremely effective, and I have a whole episode dedicated to this. I don't know if I'm going to upload it because I was a little bit tired when I recorded it. My brain is not working today very well. Anyway, so if you don't pay your medical bills, your co-pays, your tests, your whatever, if you stop paying for any kind of health care at all, and just go to the emergency room for your health care, and if you want to pay a doctor, pay him directly. So the idea is that you stop paying into the healthcare system to those who profit from it. If you make the healthcare system no more profitable, you make it a loss to anybody who does business in it, they're not going to do business in the healthcare system. And do you think healthcare providers are just going to say, nobody's paying us, so we're not going to provide healthcare anymore? Do you really want a doctor who's not going to provide health care to the citizens of this country because he doesn't get paid? Do you really want a doctor that will not work unless he's paid? Well, here's the thing. Most doctors will work without pay. because they realize that they can't be allowed to function without compensation of some kind, without being able to function, to sustain themselves. So by not paying your medical bills, you push the insurance companies out of the healthcare system, you push the for-profit hospitals, you push the for-profit pharmaceutical companies, you push the for-profit testing diagnostic companies, GE especially, out of the fucking business. And the doctors will only do healthcare that's necessary because they're not getting paid. And then, get this, they will demand, and we will get, free healthcare, subsidized by the government, paid for by the very fucking people that we fucking pushed out of the business. Excuse my language, but I'm sick and fucking tired of having to fucking repossess my fucking house every time I get a fucking cold. Aren't you? Or not repossess, foreclose. Or what do you, mortgage, excuse me. So, that's another one. I think the biggest, the best, the most effective, the one that we can all do easily without any change is just to stop buying from corporations. Stop participating in the corporate culture. Stop participating in the corporate economy. If you don't support corporations, how can they oppress you? If you stop eating at McDonald's, how can they underpay their workers? If you stop shopping at Target, how can they steal your PIN for your debit card? If you stop shopping at Walmart, how can they continue to destroy the planet? So, stop feeding them. And once this gets into, once the momentum builds with this, once enough people slow down, do this, the momentum will build, and we'll get that escape velocity that we were promised with the quantitative easing bullshit by Bernanke and Janet, what's her bitch name, and whatever else fucking assholes that are fucking running our goddamn monetary system, which is just a fucking farce. So, and, you know, you could also start participating in the Bitcoin thing and start paying your bills with Bitcoin, accept Bitcoin for private transactions. And there's another thing. Go to swap meets. Go to yard sales. Go to thrift stores. Go to mom and pop stores. You know, don't go to Home Depot. Go to the local Ace hardware dealer. And if you find one that's not a dealer, if you find just a hardware store, oh God, by all means, use them. You know, try and avoid big businesses. Try and avoid big corporations. You know. And here's another thing you can do. Now this one is going to be hard. This one's going to be very hard. Change your diet to a natural human diet. Now this is for advanced viewers, listeners, participants, revolutionaries. This is the ultimate in protest to corporate America. And you'll find that it's the ultimate benefit to you. I mean, would you believe I used to weigh 260 pounds? I'll put up video or a link to a photograph or something showing you that I used to weigh 260. And I was between 220 and 260 since my sophomore year in high school in 1982. That's 32 years that I was between 220 and 260. And I have been 4 years, that was 28 years. I've been 4 years at 175 to 185. How? By doing what I recommend you do. Well, I had no choice. I had food allergies. But the reason I'm allergic to these foods is because they have toxins in them that humans cannot tolerate. So if I'm allergic to it, no one can eat it. No one should eat it. Because it stresses your immune system. Causes what's called a histamine reaction, and a histamine reaction, that's a dermal histamine reaction, by the way. Notice the swelling. Oh, yuck! Oh, actually, that's the first time I've ever seen it that close. Anyway, that's a physical histamine reaction. The physiological effect is stimulation, which is probably why my thoughts are so distracted right now. Because I've got histamines all throughout my fucking body from this stupid insect bite or whatever. So, the best way to tell you what to stop eating is to tell you what you can't eat. Because there's very, very few things you can eat on my restricted diet. The natural human diet. Now, think about what we are. Eyes are in the front of our head. We have stereo vision. We have 3 kinds of teeth. incisors, um, incisors, canines, and molars. And that is meant for eating meat, eating flesh. So, how you doing? So, what you do is this, and here's another aspect of the whole diet thing. Our mouths produce amylase, which digests carbohydrates. That's where carbohydrates are digested, not in the stomach. Our stomachs produce pepsin, which digests protein. It's produced in the stomach, and only in the stomach, which is where protein, and only protein, is digested. It's a big stomach, small mouth. Mouth is about 10th, 20th the size of our stomach. So that's how much carbohydrates we can tolerate. Actually less. And then our duodenum, lower in the first part of our small intestine, is for digesting fat. So, what your diet should consist of is meat of any kind. I recommend against bottom feeders like fish and like shrimp and clams, and bottom feeding fish, because of the toxins. And mostly, well, you do need red meat once in a while at least, because you got to get your iron. But you need protein, lots of it. So your main dish should always be protein. Along with that, cook it with onions and or garlic, if you want to. I use onions occasionally. Well, actually, I use them a lot because I have digestive problems. But they're a very good flavor. And they have a little tiny bit of sugar in them, so you can get a little bit of that sweet flavor that you like so much from your food, that you've been born eating. So, then you can tolerate some grain, but only masa, which is corn soaked in lime, turned into hominy, then dried and ground, and turned into corn flour. Don't eat a lot of it. If you're poor, if you're between meals or something like that, eat one protein and have the rest corn and or rice. Now the rice you can eat, polished white rice only. Do not get whole grain rice. Do not eat any grains of any kind except for treated rice and treated corn. The reason for that is because of something called phytic acid. Look it up. That's all I'll say. As far as vegetables, well, that list is really short now. Onions, garlic. That's all the vegetables you should be eating. If you want your vitamins, get dehydrated organic beef liver from Argentina. That's toxin-free, hopefully. It's organic, which means it's toxin-free. It's from Argentina, which means it's going to actually be toxin-free instead of just labeled as such like they do in America. Because nobody actually checks anymore. You take it for granted that you can trust. Ow! What you buy in the store being as labeled, but it's not. Okay, so as far as fruits, you're okay with bananas and orange. Well, any citrus fruit is definitely good for you. Apples are okay in moderation. Fruit should only be eaten when in season, unless you have a health need like I do, in which case I have to drink citrus routinely, regularly. Actually, citrus pectin is my medication, so anyway. Hi, Marley. Neighbor dog. Hi, sweetie. Woof. Good girl. Good girl. So, that's your diet. And drink lots and lots of water. Notice I said nothing about milk. Notice I said nothing about sugar. Notice I said nothing about plant oils. Oh, no seasonings except salt. Not even pepper. Salt, onion, garlic are the only flavorings I use, period. And onions and garlic are for health reasons. Garlic is very high in calcium, and onions have a substance in them that dissolves or motivates mucus. It basically slightly dissolves mucus. Makes it flow faster, better. So it's good for your immune system, it's good for your digestive system. Oh, but you didn't know about your immune system. That's the lymphatic system, actually. Onions help your lymphatic system move. Very good for your health. Hi, you buddy. How you doing, Marley? So, no dairy products, no sugar, no sweetened anything. So your diet's boring. But why shouldn't it be? Why do you need excitement in your diet? Why do you need stimulation? Why do you need celebration? Why do you need all that stuff? It's just food. Oh, and by the way, what do carbohydrates do? Provide instant energy. Instant energy. If you don't use it instantly, it's put into fat cells. Attacks your liver. Protein is the building blocks of your body. You kind of need it. Kind of important, and it has to be animal protein. Plant protein is not necessarily compatible, and the toxins associated with it are too harmful. And what is fat? Oh, and protein is also energy, but it's very, very hard to motivate that energy. It takes a lot. So we eat fat, which is energy. It takes a while to break it down. It can be very easily stored in the liver, very short term. So it gives you a full day of energy for the plate. So why not? So there you go. Protein for your building blocks, fat for energy, carbohydrates because they're there. Only very little bit of them too. And with your carbohydrates, should only be rice and corn. So, that's your diet, and that's your protest. By eliminating those, you eliminate an entire massive industry that takes up most of the land on this planet. It's called agriculture. So eat fish, eat red meat, go hunting if you can. If you don't live anywhere where you can hunt big game like elk and deer, then just, buy it at the store. Try and buy it from your local producer. Again, avoid your corporations, especially Albertsons. My God, their meat pricing is so fucking stupid. 2 for the price of 1. It's only $13 a pound for something that's normally $3 a pound. If you shop at Albertsons and buy meat and they're 2 for 1 sale, you're a fucking idiot, okay? Sorry. Gotta call it as it is. So, those are your protests. In no time... Oh, actually, there is one more. There was one more, vastly more powerful thing you can do. Much more powerful than any other form of protest. Because it's much more effective. And because they can't do a goddamn thing about it. They can't arrest you. They can't monitor you. They can't watch you. They can't stop you. They can't change your mind or influence you. And this is what you do. Talk. Meet. Discuss. Talk with everyone. Meet with everyone. Discuss politics. Someone comes to you and says, oh, I don't want to talk politics. Oh, you don't want to talk about the most important aspect of your life to try and help identify the problems and solve what's wrong with your life. You don't want to discuss politics. Okay. Why not? And you just drag them into the discussion. But better yet, have meetings. Get together with your neighbors. Get together with your school buddies. Get together with everybody at school. Everybody in your neighborhood. Have a town hall meeting. Just announce it. Just talk. Just discuss. Meet. And what your goal is to find common ground. Common ground is just what you can all agree on. And I think it's fair to say that we can all agree that we need a new government. So if we can all meet together and we come to agree that we need a new government, then guess what? Our discussions now have a purpose. Initially it was to come to agreement. We have come to that. Once we come to that agreement, I assume that agreement is that we need a new government. Then guess what? Your discussions are about, well, how do we go about replacing the government? So that's what I recommend. And if you don't think our government is going to be scared to fucking death of people all over the country meeting and discussing how to replace them, you got another thing coming. These people, even Congress, even our politicians and lobbyists and all that, they exist. They do what they do because you elect them. You put them in office. And you do that by not voting. Because I know most of you watching this don't vote. Most people don't vote in this country. So vote, but discuss first. Because my recommendation for the best way to replace our government, and you can discuss this, and maybe you'll find better ways. My recommendation is to create something called the Independent Citizens Party. It's a political party where the only basis for membership as a politician is agreeing to serve the public, and only the public, not yourself. You will not enrich yourself based on your time in office, either in or after. Just a pledge. That's it. Violate the pledge, you're no longer part of the party. And we'll try and get you for criminal charges if we can. But that's my recommendation for what to do as far as replacing the government. But, like I said, I don't know what you're going to find out. I don't know what your common ground is going to be. Maybe it's that you just need some reforms. Maybe it's that you need to call Obama and tell him to shut the fuck up. I don't know. Do it. Meet. Come to agreement. And go from there. Anyway, so this episode of How to Fix Your World has been brought to you by me. Just dark, shadowy guy in the camera here with brain damage and stubborn doggies. Come on. And a cheap-ass camera. Well, actually, it's a rather expensive camera. It's supposed to have been a phone. Anyway, that's all for now.